it's not bad parenting. Or is it? What do these behaviors tell you about the parent? And what does this fact that I'm about to tell you say? In the US alone, over 1 million children between the ages of 6 and 12 have had a formal diagnosis of depression or other mental health conditions. But between the ages of 12 and 17, that number skyrockets to nearly 4.5 million. And that is just those formally diagnosed. More children today are secretly suffering from depression and other mental health conditions than ever before in history. And here's what most people don't realize. They often hide their mental health mess behind the masquerade of laziness, lack of focus, video game addiction, acting out, hyperactivity, or even seemingly positive traits like humor or being the teacher's pet so that they won't be found out. Why so many? What's the cause? What can we do? Let's get to that. There are many causes, but one vital reason to remember is that the world has changed so much and is changing at an even faster pace than ever before. In this new world, parenting is more challenging. Parents have to be top of their game. They need to educate themselves. And they need to make sure that they are not contributing to the problem. You might say, hey, my parents were extreme disciplinarians, or just the opposite. My parents just let me do whatever and I turned out all right. And maybe you did, or not. But today's world is different. Kids are exposed to so much more. Being a good parent takes more knowledge. It takes more skills. In this video, we will uncover some widespread but less than optimal parenting techniques. Things that we might need to consider that contribute to the problem. We'll also cover the simple fixes parents can use to up their parenting game. And finally, the one easy question you can ask yourself to determine what is and is not good parenting. And by the way, this information is relationship gold even for non-parents. Let's check out this scenario.
Shopping sucks!
How about you pick out your cereal for the week?
No, I don't want any cereal.
Okay, how about some fruit then? You love strawberries.
I hate strawberries.
I hate shopping.
There are several possible responses for Jamie's mother. Which one would you do? Which one would your parents have done? Which would be the most effective long-term? Here's response A.
Jamie, stop this nonsense right now.
I won't stop. You can't make me.
This is unacceptable, Jamie. You're going to be grounded for this.
I'll get it, ma'am.
The fighting fire with fire response. Would that work? Would that help Jamie long-term? Let's look at another possible response. Response B.
Okay, Jamie, okay.
We don't have to buy any cereal or strawberries. Let's just go. We'll get some ice cream. How does that sound?
Fine, but I want 2 kinds.
Okay, 2 kinds.
The surrender response. A good one? A bad one? How would that work out long-term for Jamie, for his mother? Let's look at a third possible response. Response C.
Jamie, why are you acting this way? This isn't like you at all.
It's okay, I've got this.
We're going to take a break. Look at me, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
I know you are, but we need to talk about what's going on and how we can make things better. You can be upset, but you can't throw things or yell. There are other ways to express that you're angry.
I'm sorry.
Which of the 3 responses will have the highest chance of finding a solution and improving long-term behavior? The first response is typical of the authoritarian parenting style. In that situation, Jamie's mother's reaction fueled the fire of Jamie's defiance. It is likely that with this response, with every stern word and every promise of punishment, Jamie's resolve to resist would only grow stronger. The relationship will become a battle of wills. Each confrontation a test to see who would break. And there is a second issue. Jamie's inner turmoil remained unaddressed, his feelings unheard. His mother's authoritarian response, devoid of understanding or connection, set the stage for future confrontations. Jamie's defiance, far from being quelled, was silently being honed into a sharper weapon, one that would be wielded with increasing frequency and fervor in the days to come. The second response, response B. This response is typical of the permissive parenting style. Jamie's mother reinforced Jamie's belief that outbursts and defiance were effective strategies for getting what he wanted. His mother surrendered to his demands, however well-intentioned to keep the peace, had inadvertently taught him that such behavior was not only acceptable, but also advantageous. Jamie learned that this behavior was a surefire way to bend his mother's will. Yes, children start out with their own personalities. Some are defined by nature. But when a child with a rebellious spirit is parented this way, it often leads to ODD, oppositional defiant disorder. And then there is real trouble. But maybe you picked response C. Response C is the response of an authoritative parent. Jamie's mother validated his feelings while not condoning his disruptive behavior. In this way, Jamie learns that his emotions are important, but also that there are acceptable ways of expressing them. This type of response teaches emotional regulation and problem-solving skills. But then, the big question is, what caused that situation? Why was Jamie so defiant in the first place? Sometimes it's not so obvious. Here are some possibilities. The next time you see that situation, let these scenarios run through your mind. Number 1. Over time, Jamie had learned that this behavior got him what he wanted. The effect of his mother giving in whenever he threw a tantrum, or the exact opposite. His mother escalated, and his learned response was to escalate back. Number 2. Jamie was experiencing emotional distress. This could be caused by bullying, a traumatic event, familial chaos, or anything else he did not know how to handle emotionally or express. 3. Jamie was experiencing physical distress. This could be a lack of sleep, malnutrition, chronic physical pain, or even hormonal imbalances. 4. Autism or sensory processing disorder. Children with these conditions can react badly to sensory overloads or changes in routines. 5. Other learning disabilities such as dyslexia or dyscalculia. Even a very mild learning disability can put a child in a constant state of stress. A slight school struggle can seem like everything to a child who wants to impress his parents. An outburst like Jamie's could have been caused by any of these hidden problems. Some from poor parenting skills, some because of other reasons. Now, let's look at another scenario.
What's wrong, honey?
Nothing.
Here's one possible response. See what you think. Will this toughen Emily up?
What's wrong with you? You've barely touched your dinner.
The other kids laughed at me when I had to read. They said I'm stupid.
Emily, you need to stop being so sensitive. Kids laugh. It's what they do. You're going to have to get over it.
But it hurt my feelings. They were so mean.
You're just going to have to toughen up. Life's not always kind, and you can't come running every time someone says something you don't like.
Okay, Mom.
How do you think that would affect Emily emotionally? How would it affect their mother-daughter relationship? Would Emily be more formidable and stronger because of it? Here's a totally different response. As you watch it, ask yourself, is it possible that this response will help Emily become more resilient?
Why aren't you eating? Did something happen at school today?
They laughed at me. They said I'm stupid because I messed up reading. I hate school. I never want to go back.
I know, sweetheart. And it's okay to feel upset. But remember, being brave isn't about not feeling scared. It's about facing what frightens you. You faced a big crowd today, and that took courage. I'm so proud of you for that.
You are?
Absolutely. And you're going to get better at it, day by day. If you want, we can practice reading together every night. Would you like that?
Okay.
And some learning success exercises?
That sounds fun.
Which response will build a stronger, more independent Emily, the first or the second? In the first response, Emily's mother, thinking she was preparing her daughter for the world's harshness, inadvertently taught Emily that her emotions were a burden, not to be shared or soothed. In time, Emily will likely stop sharing her emotions with her mother. The gap between them will widen with each unspoken hurt. Without the validation she needed, Emily learned to build a wall around her feelings, a fortress, seemingly impervious but brittle within. She may even grow up to have the appearance of strength and independence, but with negative emotions bottled up deep down inside. In the second response, Emily's mother's empathetic and proactive response provided a framework within which Emily could learn to navigate her feelings, develop practical skills, and gain the confidence to face future challenges, all of which are critical components in building a resilient child. But let's not judge. It's important to remember that in each response, Emily's mother's intent was good. She was doing the best she knew how to do. It may have been damaging, but it also may have come from a loving place. She had good intentions. So we can't necessarily judge her intent. But it does lend credibility to Maya Angelou's quote, "When we know better, we do better." There was another benefit to the second response. It encouraged Emily to build competence. So, once the emotions had passed, Emily got to work on solving the reading difficulty that had triggered her embarrassment in the first place. Emily learned emotional intelligence, and she also learned a little grit at the same time. Not bad, right? Oh, and if you are interested in that learning success system Emily used, there's a link in the description. Now, let's look at another situation.
Alex, it's time to turn off the game and start your homework.
Just a minute, Mom. I'm just about to beat Ganon.
The battle raging on the screen before Alex was nothing compared to the one brewing within him. Each virtual enemy he defeated was a stand-in for the authority that dared to tear him away from his digital kingdom. The homework that awaited him was a distant thought, eclipsed by the immediate thrill of his video game victories. Or was it something else that is the enemy?
Alex, enough games. You need to do your homework now.
I won't do the stupid homework. I hate school and I'm going to be a professional gamer anyway. So there.
In this situation, there could be several things going on. One, it could have been overly permissive, neglectful, or even excessively authoritarian parenting that led us here, such as in the first story. Two, Alex could have an undiagnosed learning struggle, and he's doing everything possible to hide it, including being seen as defiant and disrespectful to his mother. Happens all the time. 3. Alex has built an addiction to video games. And what's even worse, the addiction will deteriorate his ability to do homework, just like any other drug, but in this case, his own brain is manufacturing the drug. In this scenario, the cheap dopamine fix he's getting from the video game will overpower any dopamine he could possibly get from any other activity, especially academics. So he will no longer get joy from learning, and learning will become incredibly difficult. Not all addictions come in a bottle, pill, or pipe, but most do keep us from excelling. That's terrible news. But there is a straightforward answer to preventing the addiction and also the fight that would have ensued. Here it is.
Alex, you know the rule we have. We agreed as a family. Video games are for after homework. They're a reward, not a right. This level of defiance is uncharacteristic of Alex. I know he's about to hit puberty and hormones are raging, but still, could there be more behind this rebellion than just the desire to keep playing? Is homework genuinely becoming a source of fear for him? Alex, is there something about your homework that's bothering you? Something you're afraid of?
It's just stupid.
Homework can be tough, I know. And if it's making you this upset, we need to address that, not avoid it. We want you to succeed, and we're here to help you do that. But remember, playing these games is a privilege you earn by meeting your responsibilities.
I don't get it. Sometimes I read the problems over and over and they just don't make sense.
Now, there are many ways this could have gone wrong, but instead, let's focus on these two very skillful parenting techniques she did use. What were they? Number 1, in their household, they had a rule that said that preferred activities, such as video games, were earned activities. They were not rights. They were earned privileges. This made it easy for Alex's mother to end the conflict and get Alex to do his homework. She just had to tell him that rewards come after work, which is a good lesson that prepares him for life anyway. Most people get paid after doing their job. 2. Curiosity. She remained curious about what was really going on. Because of her curiosity, she discovered that there might be a deeper problem. Of course, she reacted as well. We all would. But she managed her reaction and became curious. That's some skillful parenting. So, how do we answer the question, is this good parenting? Actually, in today's world, the answer is more complex than it used to be. Just a few decades ago, the answer was simple. It was just about intent. We only needed to ask the question, is the parent putting the child's needs before their own? But in today's world, where we have access to so much more information, where neuroscience and psychologists have revealed so much, and where children need so much more guidance, I will suggest one more thing necessary to be a great parent: education. Parents need to continue to learn and to optimize their parenting skills. But think about it. Isn't that the best opportunity we have to improve the world that we live in? It might be just what the world needs. But here's one more vital point to think about. A lot of the time, putting the child's needs before the parents may mean that the parent needs to take care of themselves first. In an airplane emergency, a good parent puts the oxygen mask on themselves first. Their health and safety allow them to take care of the child. The same might be said of mental health and self-care. When parents prioritize their mental health and self-care, they benefit their children even more. And how do we know if that is selfish or selfless? By the intent. Now, remember that in each of the scenarios we covered, there was a possibility that the child's reaction was caused by an underlying learning struggle that they were trying to hide. And that the answer to finding that was curiosity in the parent? Well, several learning disabilities commonly fly under the radar. They're prevalent in more intelligent children. And you might not have even heard of them. Find out what they are by watching this video right here.